Hello there, and welcome to Hiatus Lesson Red Level Week 5. I had really hoped that we would be back in the classroom by now, but looks like we're going to be off for a little bit longer. Okay, today we're going to start with a story.
A New Coat for Anna by Harriet Ziefert. Winter had come, and Anna needed a new coat. The fuzzy blue coat she had worn for so many winters was no longer fuzzy, and it was very small. Last winter, Anna's mother had said, "When the war is over, we will be able to buy things again, and I will get you a nice new coat." But when the war ended, the stores remained empty. There still were no coats. There was hardly any food, and no one had any money. Anna's mother wondered how she could get Anna a new coat. Then she had an idea. "Anna, I have no money," she said, "but I still have Grandfather's gold watch and some other nice things. Maybe we can use them to get what we need for a new coat. First, we need wool. Tomorrow we will visit a farmer and see about getting some." The next day, Anna and her mother walked to a nearby farm. "Anna needs a new coat," Anna's mother told the farmer. "I have no money, but I will give you this fine gold watch if you will give me enough wool from your sheep to make a coat." The farmer said, "What a good idea! But you will have to wait until spring when I shear my sheep's winter wool. Then I can trade you their wool for your gold watch." Anna waited for spring to come. Almost every Sunday, she and her mother visited the sheep. She would always ask them, "Is your wool growing?" The sheep would always answer, "Bah!" Then she would feed them nice fresh hay and give them hugs. At Christmas time, Anna brought them paper necklaces and apples and sang carols. When spring came, the farmer sheared the sheep's wool. "Does it hurt them?" asked Anna. "No, Anna," said the farmer. "It is just like getting a haircut." When he had enough wool to make a coat, the farmer showed Anna how to card the wool. "It's like untangling the knots in your hair," he told Anna. Then he gave Anna's mother a big bag of wool, and Anna's mother gave him the gold watch. Anna and her mother took the bag of wool to an old woman who had a spinning wheel. "Anna needs a new coat," Anna's mother told the woman. "I have no money, but I will give you this beautiful lamp if you will spin this wool into yarn." The woman said, "A lamp? That's just what I need. But I cannot spin quickly, for I am old and my fingers are stiff. Come back when the cherries are ripe, and I will have your yarn." When summer came, Anna and her mother returned. Anna's mother gave the old woman the lamp, and the old woman gave them the yarn, and a basket of delicious red cherries. "Anna, what color coat would you like?" Anna's mother asked. "A red one," Anna answered. "Then we will pick some lingonberries," said Anna's mother. "They make a beautiful red dye." At the end of summer, Anna's mother knew just the place in the woods to find the ripest lingonberries. Anna and her mother boiled water in a big pot and put the berries into it. The water turned a deep red. Anna's mother dipped the pale yarn into it. Soon, red yarn was hanging up to dry on a clothesline strung across the kitchen. When it dried, Anna and her mother wound the yarn into balls. They took the yarn to the weaver. "Anna needs a new coat," Anna's mother said. "I have no money, but I will give you this garnet necklace if you will weave this yarn into cloth." The weaver said, "What a pretty necklace! I will be happy to weave your yarn. Come back in 2 weeks." When Anna and her mother returned, the weaver gave them a bolt of beautiful red cloth. Anna's mother gave the weaver the sparkling garnet necklace. The next day, Anna and her mother set off to see the tailor. "Winter is coming, and Anna needs a new coat," Anna's mother told the tailor. "I have no money, but I will give you this porcelain teapot if you will make a coat from this cloth." The tailor said, "That's a pretty teapot. Anna, I'd be very happy to make you a new coat, but first I must take your measurements." He measured her shoulders, he measured her arms, he measured from the back of her neck to the back of her knees. Then he said, "Come back next week, and I will have your coat." The tailor set to work making a pattern, cutting the cloth, pinning and sewing and stitching and snipping. He worked and worked for almost a whole week. When he was finished, he found 6 pretty matching buttons in his button box and sewed them on the coat. He hung the coat proudly in the window for everyone to see. When Anna and her mother returned to the tailor's shop, Anna tried on her new coat. She twirled around in front of the mirror. The coat was perfect. Anna thanked the tailor. Anna's mother thanked him too, and gave him the pretty porcelain teapot. Anna wore her new coat home. She stopped at every store to look at her reflection in the window. When they got home, her mother said, "Christmas will soon be here, and I think this year we could have a little celebration." Anna said, "Oh, yes, and please, could we invite all the people who helped to make my coat?" "Yes," said Anna's mother, "and I will make a Christmas cake just like I used to." Anna gave her mother a big hug. On Christmas Eve, the farmer, the spinner, the weaver, and the tailor came to Anna's house. They all thought Anna looked beautiful in her new coat. The Christmas cake that Anna's mother baked was delicious. Everyone agreed that this was the best Christmas they had had in a long time. On Christmas Day, Anna visited the sheep. "Thank you for the wool, sheep," she said. "Do you like my pretty new coat?" The sheep seemed to smile as they answered, "Baa! Baa!"
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that story. I'm now going to ask 10 questions about the story. Please write your answers in your notebook. The answers will be either yes or no. First, I will ask the question and give you 10 seconds to answer. Then the questions will appear on the screen. 1. Did Anna's mother have enough money to buy a new coat for her? 2. Did Anna's mother decide to trade things to get what was needed for a new coat? 3. Did Anna enjoy visiting the sheep? 4. When Anna's mother took the wool to be spun into yarn, did it have a lot of knots and tangles? 5. Did Anna get to choose the color her coat would be? 6. Did the tailor figure out what size to make Anna's coat by having her try on other coats? 7. Did Anna's new coat fit her? 8. After Anna's mother decided to get a new coat for Anna, Did it take more than a few weeks to get it? Nine. Was it hard for Anna's mother to talk people into helping Anna get a new coat? Ten. Did anyone else have a coat exactly like Anna's? All right, that is the end of our quiz. Look over your answers, and then I will give you the correct answers. Okay, how did you do? Hope you got most of them right. If not, go ahead and listen again and try it one more time. That's it for this week's story. Hang around for our next activity. Okay, our next activity today is describing people. Today, we're starting part 2. Enjoy! Welcome to Hiatus Lesson Red Level, Week 5. Today, we're moving on to Phase 2 of describing people. Last week, we learned how to describe a person's general appearance, their height, build, and age. The next phase of a description is our judgment of their appearance. This is where we comment on how attractive or unattractive the person is. This phase is used when we talk about people we have a personal relationship with, or people we would like to have a personal relationship with, even if it's only fantasy. For example, it's common to talk about how attractive an athlete, singer, or movie star is, even though there's very little chance we would ever have a personal or romantic relationship with them. Be careful! Commenting on a person's attractiveness in some settings would be offensive. Talking about how good-looking a person is in a business or academic setting would be quite inappropriate. Describing a person's look is quite gender-specific. That means that we often use some words to describe boys and different words to describe girls. Let's look at some words we can use to describe women and girls. We can judge a person's attractiveness at 3 levels: unattractive, not good looking, average, and above average or attractive. You have to use good judgment when using some of these terms. We never use the words in the unattractive or average boxes to or in front of the person we're describing. Almost everyone is somewhat insecure about their looks, so being described as unattractive or even average could be quite hurtful and would be considered very rude. If we're talking to a friend about his or her looks, we tend to be kind and use words from the attractive box even if that might be a bit of a white lie. Let's check pronunciation. Repeat after me. Unattractive, ugly, homely, plain. Average, okay, so-so, fair. Attractive, pretty, cute, beautiful, gorgeous. So, when do we use the words in the unattractive and average boxes? Those are for talking about people we don't know personally. For example, when I was young, there was an actor named Charles Bronson, who some women found quite attractive, but I thought he was very ugly. How would you describe Kuroyanagi Tetsuko? For me, I would say she is definitely not ugly, but I don't really find her very attractive, so I would say she's okay. Just for practice, think of 3 famous women and write down how you would describe their looks in your notebook. I'll give you 1 minute. If you need more time, pause the video. Next, let's take a look at words we use to describe a man or boy's looks. Let's check the pronunciation. Repeat after me. Unattractive, ugly, hideous. Average, okay, so-so, not bad. Attractive, good-looking, handsome, a hunk, cute. Now, men tend to be less concerned about their looks than women, but still, describing them with the words in the first box would be considered very rude. Notice the words in the attractive box are generally different than the words we use to describe girls. Boys tend to be a bit uncomfortable describing another boy as being attractive, whereas girls love complimenting each other. Notice that a hunk is not an adjective. It means a man who is classically very handsome. Also notice that cute has a star next to it. Girls, children, and animals can all be described as cute by either girls or boys. Girls can call boys cute. But it would be quite unusual for boys to call other boys cute. Let's practice. Think of 3 famous men and write down how you would describe their looks in your notebook. For example, when he was young, Hideki Matsui had very bad skin and was considered so ugly that his nickname was Godzilla. Now that he is older, I would describe him as not bad. I'll give you 1 minute. Pause the video if you need more time. Remember that when using any of these words to describe people, you can adjust the strength of the adjective by using adverbs like very, terribly, extremely, pretty, kind of, a little bit, or a bit. Okay, I'm going to show you 5 photos of people. In the photo, I will include the person's height and weight. When you see the photo, pause the video and write down a description in your notebook. Use both the phrases you learned in the last lesson and the words we learned today. After the photo, you will see one possible description, but don't worry, there are many other ways to write these descriptions. Number 1. Okay, I said, she's kind of short and thin. She's a bit homely. But your answer could be completely different. Number 2. I said, he's a hunk. He's tall and well built. Again, your answer can differ. Number 3. I said, he's quite ugly. He's short and very heavy. Number 4. Okay, I said she's beautiful. She's average height and build. Number 5. I said she's tall and thin and very ugly. All right, that is the end of our practice exercise. I hope you were able to come up with good sentences to describe these people. Remember, the sample answers are not the correct answer. There are many possible ways to describe these people. So, what makes a person attractive? Scientists have studied this question for many years. Based on their research, they have come up with a number of features that make a person more or less attractive. One of the clearest facial features that makes a person attractive seems to be symmetry. That means if you draw a line down the middle of a person's face, the right side and the left side would look the same in a symmetrical face. That kind of face is usually regarded as attractive. This is a photo of Abraham Lincoln. People say he had a very asymmetrical face. The right side of his face does not match the left side of his face. When he was president, most people considered him a very unattractive man. Here are some of the other facial features that make a person attractive. An attractive person's face is mathematically very average. No feature is especially large or small. Not surprisingly, men and women's standards of beauty are not the same. In women, a heart-shaped face is considered particularly attractive. That means a wide face at the eyes, high cheekbones, and a narrow chin. A small, thin nose and rather full lips are also considered especially attractive in women. In men, an oval-shaped face is considered attractive. That means a face that is longer than it is wide. A square jaw is also considered attractive in a male. In men, a medium-sized nose and average lips are seen as more attractive than either larger or smaller features. This photo is of the actress Natalie Portman. Scientists found that she is the closest to the ideal woman among all celebrities. Okay, we're going to have to stop here for today. That is the end of today's lesson in describing people. Next week, we will move on to part 3, eyes, hair, and skin. Have a good week, stay safe, and we will see you next Friday. Okay, that is it for this week's lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you come back next Friday for more. Have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.